Just three dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you. Welcome back.
I started us way too fast.
That was a live performance, the first live performance with the guitar on the podcast.
It was believable, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, gang, Avery's still here.
Sorry. You know what? I should hold off to
Hope you didn't hate him.
Because he's back in full force.
Hello.
Me and Pudge are actually taking off here in a minute.
That's
It's
right.
just going to be Avery for the rest of it.
Let's talk about aliens.
Can we please? This is You're My Friend and I Trust You.
It's a podcast, y'all.
If you haven't figured that out by now, get out of town.
That's right.
We don't need you.
Will you turn up my ears a little bit?
Oh, we got...
Thank you.
Is that? Oh, that's me too.
Oh, hey.
Nice.
Forgot I turned that down.
But welcome back. Episode, I think, 29.
Really?
Yeah, we're almost at 30 episodes.
Wow.
So does that mean we have to do 3 tonight? To get 30?
Oh, to get to 30, to have you on the special. We're doing something major for 30.
What is it?
Inflatable bounce houses. Fireworks.
Is it all the things that you were going to do
Say we promised to do something else.
with that?
We'll maybe get merch. We promised merch like way back in episodes like 5.
Hit me up.
Oh, it's
Hit me
right.
up.
Former merch guy. You got all the dirty.
That's not what I mean. Too soon.
Sorry.
Too soon, man. I meant like to make some merch.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
I'm
so
hurt.
sorry.
Don't touch me.
Didn't mean to poke at wounds.
All right. Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was thinking that when you started to list off things that you were going to do to celebrate, it sounded a lot like the email chain that you had
With that dude.
That's right.
Boogly
I
Bear.
forgot
With
about
Boogly Bear?
that.
Yeah. Shoot, what did I even say?
There was
Oh, the Tampa Bay
Waterfall.
Devil Rays recruitment team
That's right.
at this party. Chocolate Waterfall, you're right.
Chocolate Waterfall.
46-minute fireworks display.
Yep.
Lance Armstrong.
Yep.
And then every person should have their own personal waiter.
Yep.
He did not meet my demands. I'm sorry to say.
You know what's funny is we left the last episode on a cliffhanger. I was going to ask something.
Oh yeah.
Completely forgot.
I have no idea what I was going to ask.
so
Oh no.
I don't remember what we were talking
Oh,
about.
it was so important.
Well, I wasn't worried about it until now.
Yeah.
Now I really want to know what it is.
I feel like it
That's
would
going to kill people.
Yeah.
would have been pretty good.
We hyped it up so
What would
much.
what would
too.
help you? What were we talking about?
Okay. No, here's what you do. Whenever I forget something, here's what I do. You just clear your mind, clear it so there's nothing in there, and just say, but don't think about cheese.
Cheese. I'm not supposed to think about the cheese?
Don't think about cheese, but just clear your mind and say cheese.
Did you miss? I'm hungry.
Oh, sorry.
Cheese.
You just had a popsicle.
Shut up. Cheese.
It didn't work. It works for me almost.
What were we talking
almost
about?
6 times out of 10.
We were
it works for
talking.
me.
Well, we were talking about religion for a while.
Yeah, but right at the tail
Then I
end.
said something about World of Warcraft.
We talked about you laughing,
We
Yeah.
did talk about laughing, and
wrestling, and
Yep.
who knows?
that's a huge bummer.
Yeah.
It may come back to me. It may not.
I hope so.
We'll just interject at any point.
Yes, I will.
Yes, please. Doesn't matter what the conversation is. It's not more important.
Guys, we're done.
Should just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth for a second.
I need complete silence as I fall into character. I need complete silence as I fall into character. I need complete silence.
We talked about doing something we haven't done in a while.
Yeah, we did it at camp with you.
We did.
We did?
30-second opinions.
30-second opinions.
Yeah,
I love
yes.
30-second opinions.
We like it because it always leads off on a rabbit trail, and that gives us something to talk about.
There you go.
So it's not just silence and us saying.
Are you saying you want to do that for the 30th episode, or you want to do that now?
We'll do it right now.
Yeah, we'll do it now.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything offhand.
If you're new to the podcast, I don't know if we've done a 30-second opinions on back row yet.
That's for true. I don't
We
know if
have played like some older episodes.
Yeah.
I think like 3 or 4 older episodes we've had aired. We might have done them then. But if you're new to back row and new to the podcast, the way that we do 30-second opinions is I will ask.
Guys, we're done.
You figured it
Oh,
out?
we got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's a good spot because we can come back to 30-second
Yeah.
opinions easily enough.
It's actually really not groundbreaking. I was just going to ask, and actually this might not even be it.
Oh my god!
Like, what was the weirdest punishment that you had as a kid?
How did you get there?
That's why I'm not
Wasn't
sure
related to
if that's
anything
what
we
it
were
was,
talking about.
but
You're like blowing up that mic.
am I?
I think so. Maybe not.
No. I don't. It might have been something else, but I did want to ask that regardless.
What was it? What is the weirdest punishment?
The weirdest punishment you had as a kid, because like my dad was in he was into. For instance, this is probably the weirdest. If we slammed a door in the house, we had to open and fully open, fully close it correctly 100 times in a row, on the spot.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
Did it work though?
yeah. I don't slam doors anymore.
As an adult, I finally got out of my dirty habit of slamming doors. Are we recording over top of the last episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I keep saying things that are stupid.
We saved it. Yeah, I think.
What would weirdest punishment?
Because I feel like, for those who don't know, Avery and I, we said on the last podcast, are cousins.
Kissing cousins.
But that's because our dads are brothers. So I feel like they may have some similarities.
Like in the sense that, like, when my dad used to visit your dad's church, he would have elderly people approaching him, asking him questions
Yep.
as a pastor, which he is not.
He also, years ago, when we lived in Bright, I don't know if you remember, what was his name? Rogers. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There was a kid in the church who thought your dad was Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Joey Rogers. Yeah. And that was, oh my gosh.
That's who your dad reminds me of.
Is it?
I can see it now.
Other than-
The mustache
other
and the
than,
bald
like,
head.
That's it, though.
Full
Like,
of-
that's
full
where it
of-
ends.
Full of advice.
No, it's Bob's Burgers or nothing. It's Bob's Burgers or nothing, and he doesn't like that. But
think-
it's true.
My dad is more like Bob's.
I've never
Bob
seen
from
your
Bob's
dad. I've
Burgers.
never seen any of your family other than your sister.
Really?
Yeah.
You never met my dad? He's a character, man.
He is a
I'll have
character.
to introduce you.
Weird punishments, though.
Or what was the dumbest thing you did as a kid that got you in trouble?
There's a lot of those.
I know one story
Of me?
of you,
Oh, no.
and you and Adam, actually.
Oh, yes.
It involved a
Yeah,
toilet.
let's talk about that. So we got this little. It was like Xbox was doing little handheld toys from Wendy's. No, it wasn't Wendy's. It was Arby's. I remember that specifically because it was weird that we were getting a toy from Arby's, which I didn't think was ever a thing to happen. It was this little Xbox toy. It was like a motorcycle game, and it just made little beeping noises. And me and Adam, he was and has been my friend since basically birth because our families were really close, but we got home and decided the best option was to flush it down the toilet. And it was roughly toilet pipe size. And so we got about like 2 feet probably down, and then no, it didn't even get that far. I don't think it even let the like actual toilet. I don't think it got in the pipes, and it just sat there and beeped. But like one continuous.
That's awesome.
So you'd be sitting in the toilet and you just hear. And so my dad had to rip the toilet up and take it in the backyard and put some rubber gloves on and get to work.
Oof.
And then me and Adam actually went and stayed at one of our friends' houses, and his dad was a really intimidating, amazing person, but like very intimidating man. And he as soon as he walked in, he goes, "All right, first things first. You don't put anything but crap in my toilet." And he was like, "It took me a while to even like allow you to do that much."
I just remember your dad being so mad.
He was furious. That is probably the maddest at the stupidest thing that I've ever. I mean, that's not the stupidest thing I've ever done, but that's up there. We used to play a game that was not named something nice, but it was basically whoever had the football, you tackled that person, and then they would throw the
We've all
ball.
played that game.
Is there a nice name for it? Because we grew up in that time where there was just no nice way of calling
We
it.
talked about that at some point, how like the things that we used to
yeah.
say, like
Yeah, like the game is Smear the Queer, but you can't say queer anymore.
No,
Yeah.
Like
it's
at all.
horrible.
But
yeah,
like back when we were kids doing that game,
I was like 10.
yeah.
yeah.
So
we didn't even know what we were saying.
Yeah.
right, but there was a kid there, and nobody taught us that. Also, like it wasn't like my dad was like, "Oh, you ever played this game?" No, it was just like we all were just like,
You just
"This
kinda
is a
knew
game."
it.
Yeah, one of the guys was a bully at in school, and so
Yeah.
he knew everything.
Yeah.
But like we had this one kid who was the smallest, and so we would always let the ball bounce until he got it, so we could just wipe him out. And it was so satisfying. But like also when I got older, I was like, I'm the worst. Like, I'm not a big dude, but like I hit a growth spurt quick, and so I was big then, and like just decimate that kid.
Going back to what you said about your dad just being furious, I remember my dad, one of the times when he was really mad, I was out. We used to have a dog, and you'd have to shovel up the dog poop, chuck it over the fence. And
What?
That's what we did with our dog.
What was on the other side of the fence?
A field.
Okay.
Yeah. The neighbor's yard.
That's all I can think of.
The neighbor's pool. And it was wintertime, so I was real young, like maybe 6 or 7, and I was doing this, and I wasn't getting underneath it, so it would just like smear it in the snow, and you'd see like a little streak of dog crap in the snow, and then and my dad apparently was watching me from his bathroom window, saw it, got really ticked off, and came storming outside, and he's like, "That's not how you do it. Good God, this is how you do it." Grabs the shovel, and he's in boots and just a bathrobe, angrily shoving poop.
National Lampoons.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's awesome.
And back then I was like, this is scary because I was
Yeah.
scared of my dad being angry, but now it's pretty darn funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you gotta grow out of. I'm just terrified of. Well, my dad and I respect him more than most people in the world. But in high school, I was a turd because I was homeschooled through high school. And while I do appreciate that was a thing, and I'm glad I did it because I didn't have to experience some of the things that I would have had to experience in the school system that was there. Me and my mom fought a lot, and so because of that, then she would just get so sick of fighting me that she would secretly call Dad. Like, we'd be in the middle of a fight, she'd be gone, and then it would be like, we'd just go on with the day, and I wouldn't even know that she talked to Dad until he got home. And it was like, oh, you're gonna get it. Yeah. It was just like, he's like, as soon as he got home, it was like, all right.
Yeah. There's one time I'm still this way. Like, I don't like. It's not that I have a problem with authority. I don't. But I just don't like being told I have to do something a certain way. Mm-hmm. Like
Micromanaged.
Yeah, kind of like that. Mm-hmm. And so growing up, when you learn to mow, and like, I think most people like the yard mowed a certain way, and like you got to stick to it. I didn't appreciate that as a kid, and I got really mad one time. I don't know like what set me over, but I mowed our yard. It was in Bright, so it was a bigger yard.
Big yard, yeah. I used to mow it all the time when you guys moved out.
I mowed our yard in figure eights.
Oh no! Oh no! What?
Yeah, and like, I think my dad also liked it to look nice because the guy next to us had like his yard professionally like sprayed.
Oh boy!
He mowed it like 3 times a week, and so he liked to keep it nice. And yeah, I mowed figure eights in the front yard.
Oh my god!
That was not a good.
That's
idea.
a public offense. Like, that's not even in the comfort of your own home. That's like in the world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
But needless to say, I didn't mow figure eights anymore.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Do we want to do
30-second opinions?
30-second
We
opinions?
really need a theme song for this.
30 seconds.
And Avery is the perfect one to write it.
Yeah.
Is it? Is he?
We got a guitar here. Camp.
30-second opinions. That was not bad, actually.
That's good enough.
That was 1,000% improv.
Were you guys thinking of things to have opinions on?
No, I was
Not
thinking
really,
of a
no.
song.
Yeah. But if you don't know what 30-second opinions is, what we do is one of us will ask a query of the other person, but since there's 3 of us now, it'll be the other 2, I guess.
No.
I thought we did one at a time.
Yeah,
It does have. It kind of has to be one at a
Yeah.
time. Okay, so I will say, Pudge, what is your 30-second opinion on female bodybuilders that use steroids and get super jacked? And then he has 30 seconds to give a opinion on that. And then once you give your opinion on that, that is what you believe for the rest of your life.
Rest of your
You're not
life.
allowed to change it.
Commit.
No switchies.
No switchies.
Never heard that before. Switchies.
I like that.
All right.
So we have our stopwatches going.
That's right.
All right.
Do you have one
I think so.
for me or Donnie?
You.
Me?
Sure.
Okay.
What is your opinion on... I'm trying to think how to describe this. I'm going to describe it first, and then I'll hit start.
Okay.
So, you know what, like, Caesar's Creek or, like, Treasure Isles flea market is?
No.
Okay, so I can't do that one then. I was just going to say, what's your opinion on flea markets, and then start it, but...
Well, I know flea markets.
Okay. Go.
On flea markets.
Yeah.
I think flea markets are such a unique backbone of America that you can go there and just find. It's kind of like a Wikipedia of stores. You can find anything at any time period. Sometimes you overpay, but flea markets, I am 100% unequivocally for them.
For them. Sweet. That's 30 seconds.
Way to drag that out at the end just to fill up time.
Yeah. I am. This is my.
Unequivocally?
Exponentially.
I don't even know if I use unequivocally correctly.
You're Christopher Walken. I think that my opinion on flea markets. That's not a good Christopher Walken, which is amazing that
Everybody
good-
has a Christopher Walken.
I'm just trying to think of how he sounds now. I can't even do it. Okay, anyway.
I'm always disappointed there's no fleas at those flea markets.
Yeah.
I've got one for Donnie, I think.
Okay.
Donnie,
Yes, sir.
I would like your 100% honest, 30-second locked in stone opinion on birthday magicians.
Ooh, I mean, they're making a living, right? They're trying to just provide some income for their families, maybe their little clown kids. But also at the same time, I feel like it's just a waste of money. It's a little creepy. I'm thinking clowns.
Yeah.
I was thinking clowns this whole time. Can I start over?
No, you gotta lock it in.
Okay,
You gotta lock it
birthday
in.
magicians. Normally, it's like really cheap sleight of hand. I don't think that they are very good. Be Penn and Teller or be nothing.
What is the Penn and Teller show? Fool Me?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Whatever it's
Fool
called.
Me.
I love how you just realized you were thinking clowns.
I was thinking of clowns the entire time.
You said clown kids. I was like, why did magicians all right. Why do magicians have clown kids? Those poor kids.
I was thinking about, the SNL sketch with Louis C.K. I know that's controversial.
Oh, yeah,
where he's like 40 and he hires a clown to come to his
Just makes
birthday
him
party,
keep going.
and it's just him.
I forgot about
He's
that.
like, I'm going to go get a beer quick. Is that okay? Sure. Are you going to kill me? And he just wants to watch a clown.
It's such a sad skit.
It is.
Especially now, I think.
Yeah, right?
It's worse now.
It's worse now.
Oh, I want to turn.
All right, Avery, what is your 30-second opinion on Louis C.K. coming back?
No. No. Nope. I'm not interested. Thank you. I could have just done 30 seconds of no.
Beyond that, I don't have much of anything.
Well, that's not helpful.
Okay, what is your... Do you have one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
What is your 30-second opinion on telling elderly people that their teeth are loose?
Wait, what?
Their dentures
Their
are loose.
dentures are loose.
Oh boy. I don't think I thoroughly understand.
Wouldn't
the
they
question.
know?
Hang on.
Wouldn't they feel it?
Hang on a second.
Yeah, he gets a...
So,
Reset.
what is my opinion? What like?
I've never had to
On
tell
how-
somebody
on
that
people
their teeth
doing
are
that?
loose.
On how you do it, like,
Oh,
Is it... I'm still confused.
Okay.
do
go.
you say anything?
How do you notice?
Go. The only logical explanation for what you should do in this situation is that you should do it for them because you don't know what they're capable of. So you should just reach right into their gob and just like straighten them out for them. If that's what you're talking about, you're talking about their dentures being loose. Okay, cool. So like, it's not like a little kid like losing a tooth. Like this is a big issue. Like if they don't have those chompers, they don't have any of them. So you just got to make sure that those things are locked in place. Like. I don't know how I'm going to dry this out for another 5 seconds. I wasn't ready for this one.
So basically, you just reach in there and do it yourself.
Yeah, no, you get your fingers on both sides.
Yeah.
You straighten them out, and then you just...
I think you stick your whole hand in, like, flat palm up and just grab it and move it around as needed.
Do you I remember very specifically. It's like one of those events in your life that you remember where you were at. You remember the feeling that you had.
Yeah, definitely.
When I saw my grandmother without her teeth for the first time. I didn't know she had dentures.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Grandma Benter.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. I had the same thing at
I was
one
like,
point. Whoa.
Yeah, I was actually at Round Lake.
Really?
I just was trying to get a popsicle from the camper and like I knocked on the door and she opened it and like because this I'm not meaning to bash old people who take their teeth out, but like they look like a different person.
Yeah. Because like the lips kind of sink in
Yeah,
a little bit.
And this was before we moved, so I was under 7. Mm-hmm. And it kind of scared me a lot.
Yeah. That'll be us one day. Scaring our grandchildren. Just kidding.
I don't know. I should not say that, but never mind. I'll tell you guys.
Oh boy.
Without being
Off the
recorded.
air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too juicy for the podcast.
Oh boy.
Going back to it.
Too personal for the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If it was about me, I would say it, but
No, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I think I got one for somebody.
Let's unlock it.
You don't trust us?
That's my fingerprint.
Oh, I know, but you don't want to trust. Can we put our fingerprints in your
Sure,
phone?
you can, yes.
Okay. One of the students
Okay.
at Lakeside has his pinky in Molly's phone. She had it sitting on a chair next to her, and my thumb was in it, so I like unlocked it, and then I just had him program his pinky in. That's awesome.
You got 12% battery there,
Yeah.
brother bear.
Do you think that'll last 30 seconds?
The iPhone did update, so.
Okay. Avery, what is your 30-second opinion on AI/human integration? Basically putting a computer into your brain.
Let's just say I've played a lot of Deus Ex. Big fan.
Yeah.
Of the. Oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm moving on. Freaks me out. I watched the 45 minutes of Cyberpunk 2077, and that makes me like I'd be down to have some stuff in my head if it makes me able to do cool things. But then I always go back to thinking about the Futurama episode where they have the iPhone, which is literally a phone that you implant behind your eye. And so my undisputed opinion on AI. Hey, I have to say,
no opinion.
I guess
don't
we'll
have
never
one?
know.
You never know.
You didn't get it out in time.
I thought it. Okay.
Nope. Now the world's not going to know.
Don't you dare whisper that to our audience members. Don't try to sneak that past us.
That's how 30-second opinions
I
work.
now
That's how
know
it
that.
works.
I thought that you like said it at the end, but
And
nope.
I get it.
now you have to be wishy-washy the rest of your life.
Yep.
That's okay.
You have to just be undecided.
Even though that's becoming a thing.
If anybody ever asks you, like, what do you think about this? You have to say undecided.
I said undisputed, but I didn't say which way, so I'll just say undisputed.
Undisputed.
Well,
How do you guys want to die?
oh boy.
I know.
Go.
I've had this planned out for years.
Oh.
I want to be 80, 81 maybe, and I want to jump out of an airplane and have no parachute and just.
So you want to commit suicide?
Well, I'd be 80. So
So
I'd be on the way out anyway.
We're all on the way out.
that's true.
I
Just
guess.
slower than 80-year-olds, I guess.
I guess. But I feel like 80 is a good age. And I know
I don't
the
wanna
way
live
that my
that long.
body feels now, when I get to 80, it's going to be
Yeah,
bad.
you're stretching it. I'm like, get me to like 55.
55, that's young.
Avery and I's genes were screwed.
Yeah,
There's no way you guys
55
make
is
the
generous. If I can survive on the diet that I am on currently, past 30, I will be praising the Lord or saying, just take me, man. What are you doing? Yeah, no. How would I want to die?
Or on a space
I
exploration.
would love that.
Ever since Bill Nye, man, there was an episode of Bill Nye where he showed it was like a little pebble. It was like an astronaut's in space, and a pebble hits his suit and punctures it, and so the guy like dies.
Yeah.
And they show like it's just like punctures it, and then it's probably just like a freeze frame of the guy going like that. But it freaked me out, and so like, so I like,
never go to space.
I swore my 30-second opinion.
Space. Not for me. Not now or ever.
My 30-second opinion from when I was 7 years old is nope, no space. Sorry, Elon Musk, I'm not going.
I love that dude so much.
Do you?
Did you watch him on the Joe Rogan podcast?
Yes, but I also watched him when he was firing people for drug testing them from his own company, and then goes and smokes weed on.
Well.
Which I have an opinion on weed. I'm not going to get into that.
Boy.
So the only thing I would say to Elon Musk is commit one way or the other.
Yeah. I think he's gonna save us all.
You think so?
I think he's gonna put us on the moon, man.
The moon. Is that the goal?
Going to the moon.
Yeah, we're gonna take everybody and take them to the moon.
You know the thing that we know for a fact doesn't have any inhabitable land.
Standing shoulder to shoulder on the moon.
Man, it's really crowded up here.
It kind of sucks, Elon.
I did it for you.
He leaves, goes back to Earth.
Flying away on a Tesla. See ya.
Oh, so now back to how I want to die. I think I want to get shot.
Really?
What part of the body?
The head.
Just
Okay.
real quick.
Yeah, I don't want to feel it. I just want to get shot.
Out.
Or, no, I don't. That's not true. I don't know. Yeah.
What about if you were poisoned while on a train, and then everybody had to solve the mystery of?
Of how I died.
Yeah, I just watched Murder on the Orient Express.
Heard it wasn't very good. Is it good?
No, I like Josh Gad. He was in it.
I like Josh Gad.
That's like one of the reasons why I watched it. Also, the lead inspector was French, so he said "murder." There's been a murder.
Okay, this
Which
is
is so fun
nothing
to
against
say.
French people. And this is probably gonna sound bad. I hate the sound of the French language.
Wow, that is not.
Wow.
This is probably going to be offensive, but I hate how you sound.
No, I do. I just don't like it.
Okay.
And I'm sure people don't.
No,
Some people don't like how I talk, but
Well, there goes 80% of our listeners.
from France,
They were all friends.
the two people, France.
Yeah.
It's very coarse
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like in the back of the throat.
yeah.
What is your favorite accent? Or language, I guess?
American.
Punch you in the face.
Yeah.
The stupidest sounding people in the world.
I don't know that I have a favorite.
Yeah.
I like Russian.
I like New Zealand. It's my
Oh, New
favorite
Zealand's
accent.
fun. Speaking of New Zealand, Flight of the Conchords,
Back on
they're
tour,
back
baby.
on it.
Are they?
Yeah.
That was when I spent the night in the airport. I watched What We Do in the Shadows, which is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Hilarious movie. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's a mockumentary about these vampires in modern day that live in an apartment together, and it's
really
like Taika
hilarious.
Waititi, and then it's like the Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords and a couple other people. But they apparently I learned this was off script, but one of them has a human friend, but they all think he's like the coolest guy ever, but he's like the most like generic person. Like he's not interesting at all, but they all love him, and his name's Stu, and they're like, so he like moves in with them, and they make like a pact not to bite Stu. Because,
Not to turn him into a vampire.
they're all like fighting with each other, but they're like, but we don't want to like upset Stu. We love Stu.
That's hilarious.
There's a
But
scene-
apparently, like it's off script because it was just the guy. He was somehow on the crew,
Yeah.
and so they just kind of like threw him in,
that's
and they were
awesome.
like, we're just gonna have him a part of this.
That's-
So he's
that's
not an
awesome.
actor or
Hilarious.
anything.
There's a scene where they sit down and have a roommate meeting, and they're like, Brian, you were on dishes duty. You haven't done them in 100 years. And it pans over, and there's like thousands of bloody dishes in the sink.
I'll have to check that out.
It's really funny. On Prime.
There's a line in it, and I'm gonna paraphrase because it's not very nice, but he's talking about why vampires prefer to drink virgin blood, and so Jermaine is talking, and he's like, I think of it like this. If you were having a sandwich, you would just appreciate it more if no one had had sex with it. It's like, but that's the thing about the movies. They think of things that you've never had a reason to think of. So you're just like, oh boy, yep.
And it's shot like Talking Head style, kind of like The Office,
Okay.
where they do like the interviews and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's good. It's really good.
It's very solid.
There's werewolves that like have thought through that they tear through their clothes every time that they transform, so they wear like tracksuits. And one of them was wearing jeans, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
And they also don't like to kill people. They're trying to resist it, so they chain themselves to trees. Resist! Resist!
And if they swear,
They're not allowed to
they
swear.
say, "What are we? We're werewolves, not swearwolves." It is so good. I love Taika Waititi. He's just like one of my favorite directors. But
You know what I'm terrified of?
What are you terrified of, bro?
Being stabbed.
yep,
You've told me this before.
Yep.
Like,
I
just
agree.
think about it.
100% agree.
What a horrible feeling that would be.
Yes.
You know the Slender Man story, like the two girls that like,
Yeah.
but they stabbed their friend like 30 times and she lives. Yeah, I'm scared of living.
I know. That's like,
man.
yeah.
Now you just have like 30 scars like that are just that's terrifying.
Because like I don't even obviously like if I cut your finger or something.
Nope.
I just don't like it.
My big thing is I like make smoothies, so I'm like doing a slice or the peeler. Have you ever caught your finger with a peeler? That'll teach you.
You see that scar right there on my finger?
Yeah.
I don't have feeling there because when I worked in the factory, I would run a double cut saw blade, and pieces of wood would get stuck in there. So I'd just reach in there to free them up, versus like stopping the machine, opening up the door, so the blades would still be spinning. One time I just got a little bit careless, and I heard it over my earbuds with music playing. I heard a nyink, and I pulled my finger out, and it was just bloody. I thought for sure I'd hacked it off.
Oh boy.
My father-in-law. Have you ever met my father-in-law? Have you?
No.
Anyway,
Is he German?
No, he's from Alabama.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking your
My brother-in-law.
your brother-in-law's dad for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
That's not your father-in-law.
No, my father-in-law.
Uncle-in-law.
Uncle-in-law.
He actually, I'll just tell this story. The first time I met him, it's kind of awkward because like they went to our church and so they knew me, but like I didn't know them, and so Allie, my now wife, invited me over for lunch one day after church, and so get to the door, knock on the door, and her dad comes down, and first time you meet your significant other's dad, you want to make a good impression, right? Like give him a nice firm handshake, and so I was like, oh hey, how you doing? Stuck in my hand. I was like, I'm Jordan. He sticks out his hand, and he's missing his pointer finger, his middle finger, and half of his ring finger. Oh boy! And I was just like, "Well, I'm just gonna shake what's there." Oh my gosh! And so later on, we're sitting up in the living room, and Steve, my brother-in-law, leaned over, like they'd gone out of the room. He's like, "So, did you get a heads up about the fingers?" It's like, "Nope." He's like, "No, neither did I." And like she's like, it's always been like that for them, so they don't think about it. But
I thought he was doing it to mess with you.
no, he's legitimately missing his fingers.
No, I mean like I thought that he would offer you that hand as
no, because that's just
he just doesn't think about it.
yeah. But he got them cut off in a sawmill.
Oh man,
he was pushing it through, and his glove got caught, and like they tried to save him and like reattach some of them, and it didn't take. And
I think he was a great uncle that didn't have an arm because he got it like he worked at a train yard and he would latch the cars together and he got his arm jammed between the two train cars and then it got torn off.
So that's like if I'm gonna get something cut off, I would want it to go just all the way.
Yeah,
like just in an instant.
Yeah, don't give me any dangly bits.
Or like get it like stuck in something. Like the whole
127 days or
hours or whatever. Yeah, like don't do that. Like just gone. Yeah. All right, well it's gone.
Deal with it now.
Give me a tourniquet. Let's move on.
Did you hear about that dude from our old church that was in a side-by-side accident?
Yeah,
this dude was going like 20 miles an hour in a side-by-side, and it tipped on him. It's like a
razor.
Yeah,
like
an off-road.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like Neil had at camp.
Yeah. Fancy gators.
Yeah. So he was going like 20 miles an hour and then just like went to turn or something. And it was one of those things where it happened so slow. He's like, oh, I'm just going to tip over. And he just stuck his arm out and it got dragged and like ripped off except for like a tendon.
Oh my gosh.
But he ended up losing that.
He almost died actually.
Yeah, because he
bled out.
I
from
bet.
blood loss.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just going like 20 miles an hour and
to conscious to think, I'm just gonna.
Yeah. It happened so slow that you're like, oh, here I go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there was a kid I grew up with, and he didn't lose anything, but they rode 4-wheelers all the time out on their farm, and he, I guess, went to turn and he hit a bump, so his leg got caught between the fender and the tire. Oof. And so it just like ripped off like layers of skin. It messed him up. It gave him like a lot of burns and stuff like that, and he ended up being in like a full leg cast for a while.
Wow.
But I just remember like I wasn't there for it, and they had just moved. They were our neighbors for a while, and they moved away, and that happened like a few weeks after they moved over there, and it was just like, what?
But have you ever had like the smallest thing happen, but it's like for whatever reason in your head, like the worst thing?
2 times ago, Round Lake. Round Lake, when BJ was there. We slept in the actual dorms.
Mm-hmm.
Around like
I
the
had-
camp that we go to.
Yeah, sorry. I had these like face wipes, but they had a foil top on them, and I pushed it in with my thumb, but I didn't realize that foil would be sharp when you puncture it. So I did it, but it sliced up the side of my thumb, and so like this from like there to there was open for the whole week.
I did a couple things. First, you guys see this scar here?
Yeah.
So that was a box cutter.
Oh yeah.
I was like opening a box at work one time, and like, cut away from you, cut away from you. It's so hard to do, so I was just like cutting towards me, and like I was staring off into space. It was like Friday, and like I hit it, and I remember feeling like my hand hit my other hand, and I was like, that's weird. And then like my hand was just wet, and looked down, and like it's like split open, and like you can see down inside of it. And
Nice.
so I walked. I was like, oh crap, and. So I'm like trying to pull all the blood coming off my hand, like as
Just so you can put it back.
I was like walking up to my manager. I was like, do I need to like go get this like stitched or anything? And he kind of looked at. He's like, I just put a Band-Aid on it, and if it like starts looking weird or anything, we'll send you up.
It looks weird right now.
Yeah. So like I was like, okay. So I kind of pushed it together and put super glue on it.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you do.
And then put a Band-Aid over that to hold it together.
Nice.
But then it was actually, I think the day after I did that. So same hand. There's a small scar now, but it was across like my whole top of my fingers. Like if I was holding my hand out, it's like all the way across here. At work, where I used to work, we had a pallet wrapper. So like basically a bunch of saran wrap would automatically wrap it. And then the arm would come and push it up against it. And then like there's a real small wire that would get really hot and it would cut the plastic. Something happened with the machine, and I was working on something, and I moved my hand just like away from me like this, and I turned, and I hit that wire, and it was on.
Oh.
And it was one of those things I didn't even feel it until like I felt the chills in my body, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, and I smelled it before I saw it. Like I smelled my flesh burning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What did it smell like? Like meat?
Sweet death.
It's only this like I can only describe it as like burning skin. Like I can't even
Like
like
human skin.
yeah, I can't even like.
What are you trying to get at?
I wonder what human smells like when it cooks.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm concerned.
But like I flipped my hand over and it was like a perfect line across my knuckles.
Oh man.
It was just black instantly. Yeah,
Like a lightsaber.
yeah. So I had like my thumb all wrapped up and then basically all of my fingers individually wrapped up.
I don't mean to laugh at that, but it's really
No, it was funny. Like it smelled bad and it hurt, but it's funny. But that's probably not the dumbest thing I've done. I knocked myself out one time with a baseball bat.
We talked about that on the last time that we tried to do this.
Oh, that's right.
I was there that day.
Yeah, Avery was there. I was out on my swing away and missed the baseball and hit the cable and like bat snapped back like harder than I was swinging. And bam!
How I thought it happened was that you hit the ball and it went around and hit you.
No, it was the bat.
Okay.
That's the last thing I remember. I remember like the bat snapping back and hitting me right across here, and then I remember being inside. That's all I remember. Like,
Yeah.
Those are weird moments when you actually get knocked out. I knocked myself out once. I think I told you. Did I tell you this
I don't
story?
think so, but it's always funny when you like do something to yourself.
Yeah. That is like, should have an event incorporated with it. Yeah, so I was a high schooler I was like a freshman, and so I was like lifting and being like thinking that I was going to be better than I am. And so I had just switched the weights and made them a little bit heavier, and I lifted on the end of my bed because it's all I had. And so I leaned down. I was like sitting and doing curls, and I leaned into it because I thought it was going to be heavier than it was. So I brought the weight up too fast, and I smacked myself in the forehead, and I knocked myself out. But when I did that, I dropped the weight, and it landed on my foot and then rolled off.
Oh, no.
So I wake up like 15 minutes later, and I've just got like a throbbing headache with a huge goose egg on my forehead, and my foot is throbbing. And I'm trying to think like, how are these related? Like this doesn't make any sense. And I broke my toe, and I gave myself like a significant concussion. But like I tried to explain it because I had I was homeschooled. So I went to homeschool co-op, and I was trying to explain it, and I was just like, it's not even worth it. Like, there's nothing that sounds better. Like, that would make more sense than, like I can't explain why my foot and forehead are both injured.
There's, like, almost nothing worse, I'm sure there is. But the feeling of giving yourself a concussion, or getting a concussion, like, a few years ago at camp, when we were on they had, like, I think it was a teeter-totter, right?
It was like it was a big, large, inflatable teeter-totter with a big thing in the middle. It looked like an anchor, kind of, and it would float there. And you could have like 4 people on it at a time, and then you'd have 2 on each side. And then what we were doing is we would take one person, so there'd be 2 on each side, then one person from one side would like hop over the top.
Oh.
And then it would like launch it over to the side.
Yeah.
And was it when I landed on you?
No. This was because like the middle part, there's like a big, I don't know, what do you say, 5 foot?
Yeah.
About 5 foot, like, wall, basically.
Kind of like a rock wall. It's got like handles you can use to pull yourself up.
And it's kind of difficult to get over, like, because of you're in the water and whatever. But anyway.
Oh, this is a water thing.
Yeah, this is out on the water.
Okay.
It's on the lake.
And so, like, the goal was when one person was there, like, you would launch over top of it and then into the water was what we were trying to do. Mm-hmm. We were warned probably 4 or 5 times from the lifeguard, do not do that. Stop doing that. Guys, you cannot do that.
We persisted.
Yeah, we persisted. And
were you students at this and
no, we were
faculty.
Oh my god!
This was also during our private swim time.
Oh, okay, so that's fine. That's fine. That's different.
And,
I thought you were doing this in front of students.
No,
They're the worst.
No, we didn't swim with the students.
Better than that.
So it was my turn, and they launched me, but I didn't clear that wall. But I went head first straight into it.
Oh man!
And as soon as I hit, it was just like, if you know the feeling, it was just like dazed and tired instantly, and a headache, and I just kind of laid there. And I remember we were playing worship, and because Donnie also hurt himself the same day. I don't remember. I think it was in the blob.
Oh, was my back?
Was it your back?
Yeah, because I tried to. My idea was I'm going to do a front flip, so I was on the end of the blob and I like hunched over, like kind of put my head towards my knees.
Oh,
but then when I was blobbed, which it was a dude probably with a good 150 on me, my spine just like accordioned.
Oh no!
And like I heard it like crack the whole way, and I felt
because the blob's going up and your body's not following it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like my hips were like drove up into my shoulders, essentially. But I felt something go wrong, and I just like held still my entire way through the air.
I nailed the rock hard water.
So that probably looks pitiful. He was like, he's not okay.
Well, he kind of floated back to the surface and was just like kind of floating like on his back like this, not moving.
I was just trying to like assess the situation, make sure nothing was broke.
Like, you all right? You all right? He's like, yeah. Like you know how like
did you wind yourself too? Because I've been winded before. Have you ever knocked the wind out of yourself and then immediately envisioned like the ambulance coming for you?
I hate getting the wind knocked out of me.
I did it one time.
I was walking across the street from our house. We had this big it was a big field with trees and stuff. And we used to play football back in there. But it was one night. It was late, and it was like that time of night where the grass starts getting kind of wet and stuff. And so there was this chain fence that you had to jump over. It was like 2 feet tall with a chain going across. And so I jumped over it, but then there was like a little ditch before the street, and I jumped onto the slope going down into the ditch, and my feet just went out from under me, and I slammed down on my back. And I just remember getting up because I didn't know what was wrong. And so I get up, and I'm trying to run back home to tell someone. So I'm running going like that. So all I can picture, I like laid somebody, the first person to come out of the house was like, what is wrong? Like, I'm just like a zombie running. And so they like laid me down, and then I'm just envisioning, I'm sitting in the middle of the street, like envisioning the ambulance coming, and like freaking out. I was like, I just ruined my life.
It's weird when like the first time things happen that are relatively normal and not like serious. But I remember the first time I got a Charlie horse.
Oh yeah.
We were in our swimming pool at Bright, and I don't know if did you ever come over when we had the solar cover on and we would swim underneath the solar cover?
No, but you told me about it, and I was terrified that you'd never do that.
Yeah, it was really dumb. We shouldn't have done it, but like we would make air pockets that's basically just carbon. Do we breathe? We breathe carbon out, carbon
You
dioxide.
breathe out carbon dioxide.
Yeah, so
Science.
we would go under and blow bubbles up to make these things, and then we're like, oh, we can go in there and breathe. Anyway,
We can go in there and lose brain cells.
right? Yeah, but we were told don't swim underneath this solar cover because it literally, I mean, it's a heavy cover that sits on top of the water.
It's a death trap.
It really is. So I remember I pushed off and was like not even halfway under, and Charlie horse hit my leg. And of course, again, this is the first time it's happened. I don't know what's happening. I'm stuck underneath the pool. And I remember first thinking, well, this is how I die. And then like frantically I flip myself over and I'm just grabbing, yanking, trying to get to the, like, pull the cover because I was like, I can't move because it hurts so bad. And then thinking like, am I going to lose my leg? Because it just...
Yeah, it almost feels like a tendon snap.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I could think of when I had it in the middle of the swimming hole at camp. Like,
Really?
At Whitewater. It was the first time I was like, I was very self-conscious as a camp kid, and so I never swam because I wasn't a great swimmer, because the first experience I had with it was like accidentally jumping in the deep end of a pool. So then I was just always like terrified of water. So I would never take the swim test. I would never do it. But there was one day, I was like the fourth day of camp. So I was like, they probably forgot who did the swim test.
Right.
So I jump in and I go to the deep end, and as soon as I get there, I get a Charlie horse, and it happened so fast that I thought that something snapped in my leg, and like in my calf, and so I like started like frantically swimming back, and I'm with you. It's terrifying. You're just like, I have no idea what's happening to me.
That sucks. Like the situation that you're in, like you're in a public place, like, and you're already like kind of self-conscious about swimming.
And
anyway.
I wasn't swimming with anybody. It was literally like, I don't really know anybody right now.
So like, did you just kind of hide it, or?
I walked on. Well, there was. I'm trying to think who was staff. I think that was Sam Schwarberg from CCU.
Oh,
you were on
okay.
staff that week,
Okay.
or something. Maybe you were.
I
Yeah,
was-
you were.
I
It
was
was
there,
the same week as the craziness, with the campfire and stuff like that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
dudes that came
Yeah.
into our camp. Anyway, yeah, it was that. So like, I knew the staff well enough that I was like, I'm done swimming, and then I went and played cards.
Okay.
But yeah,
We could have some crazy camp stories of Whitewater.
Whitewater is insane, and not in a safe place.
Not really.
Maybe
no.
not. Maybe not anymore. But yeah, back in the day, there's some crazy people in that place.
The KKK, the nudist colony.
There was a nudist
jeez.
colony, yeah, and it was like right in the middle of both of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. I love that place sometimes, but
Greatest camp on earth.
that's what they call it. I don't know why.
They've never been to Round Lake.
Or any other camp. I don't know why they would ever call it that. I was on camp teams. I know that's
I mean, I do have very fond memories
same.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. But
But-
it's not the camps.
Facility.
Yeah.
No.
No way. No way.
You sleep in basically a shack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did that kind of with wilderness camp for Round Lake, where you
Yeah.
It would be
sleep in a-
comparable to
Okay.
But like,
They're wilderness
cut,
camp.
cut that in
Big-
quarters,
Gotcha.
if that.
Gotcha. It's just like a big tent with a whole bunch of people and like a wood floor.
Yeah.
And the first night I slept on my left side, and I couldn't do that the next night because it was just so sore. And I ran out of sides.
I went to, so we went, what was it? Like, it was right before, there's an event called Big Stuff in Florida. That's like you go to Panama City Beach and you hang out at this hotel, and then they do sessions. It's a North Point thing, so it's really cool. But the day before I left for that, we had a men's retreat from Lakeside, and Dad had decided he wanted to go, so he's like, do you want to go? I was like, yeah, sure, like, let's do it. But I slept on a top bunk. It was similar to like Whitewater, but there was like an air conditioner, which is the only difference. But that air conditioner was blowing right on my face. And so I was like, this will probably be fine. Like, I hate that. I love hearing fans, but I can't have them hitting me because it keeps me awake. And so that was hitting me in the face, and I fell asleep that way. So when I woke up the next day, like, my whole life was ruined. Like, I was dried out. I was like hacking stuff up. I was miserable. And it was just like, this just ruined everything. And like, I was going to Florida the next day. I was like, this is horrible.
Would you rather have that or sleep like hot?
Oh, I hate sleeping hot.
I can't fall
No,
asleep.
it wasn't even the cold. It was just the fact that the air was going right.
But
in
I
my
mean,
face.
like, if you had to choose, like, the air conditioner is the only way you can have air conditioner is that, or you could sleep in a hot room.
But I just readjust myself.
That's fair.
I can find ways around this. I can't find ways. You can't.
You can only take off so many layers.
Yeah, exactly.
We I know we're running long, but we went to New Orleans when I first moved up here, actually with your sister.
It was on a mission trip.
Yeah, and we stayed in like this old YMCA, like that they kind of converted to house mission teams who were helping with the Katrina cleanup. Mm-hmm. And the first night, the girls had a room upstairs and the guys had a room downstairs. Well, first off, the bunks were like the 3-tiered bunks. They were super high. It was like a really high ceiling. So there was 3 bunks to a thing.
That's scary.
And Alex Brantley was driving us nuts the entire way down. And so when we got there, we took the what do you call them? Like the metal pieces that hold the bed in.
Oh no!
he was on the top one, and we took him out.
No!
And we took out the second one. So
He tried to kill somebody.
so he was like the most annoying ride down. But he was so happy to finally get into bed, and like he climbed up there. And he did like a jump to get into bed.
He tried to kill somebody.
Went straight all the way down to the bottom. Funniest thing probably I've ever seen. But that night, the air conditioner was broken. Ugh. And this is in New Orleans in June.
God.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, super hot. And like we told the people there, and they're like, no, it's working. It just needs to catch up or whatever.
Yeah.
It got to the point where everyone was just stark naked, just sprawled out. Guys were laying on the tile floor because it was cool. I ended up putting pants on and going out to the like living area, and I just like put my head down on a table and slept out there until the girls came out. But the girls came down in sweatshirts and sweatpants, like with blankets around. Like, it was so cold last night, and we're like, oh,
Give us some of that.
yeah. And so they fixed it. But then it was like your problem where it was so cold and like, you got your sinuses were all dried out. But I was like, you know what?
That's better than being hot.
Yeah. Because at least I slept.
Yeah, at least you can cover up too.
Yeah.
You were talking about being miserably hot. I had Justin Stone's birthday party one time. I don't
Just
know.
name dropping like crazy.
But hey, he's famous, so
Right.
I know Justin Stone, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But we went over to his house, and they just had this. They lived out on like a horse farm, and it was a big old place. But they had a trampoline, and we decided that we were going to sleep on the trampoline, like all of us, and there was like 15 of us. So we learned very quickly. Horrible idea, because trampolines are suspended on the outside, not on the inside. So we created a human funnel. It's like one by one, everyone's slowly rolling to the center. And first off, it's hot. Yeah. And also, when the ground gets muggy or like dew covers the ground, it also covers trampolines. So your blanket is soaking wet, and you're sitting on top of 3 other people because you're all set in the middle. But we just had to rough it because it was like, well, the house is closed because. But I think I ended up being like 10 people headed inside while the rest of us were asleep. Then we woke up and we were just like, "Are you kidding me?" So I woke up at like 4 or 5 and walked inside, and I was like, "I'm definitely sleeping here." And I got in there and there was like no room. Like everyone was all over the floor, and I was like, "Oh man." But yeah, I am a prince when I'm sleeping. It's like things have to be this way, or it's not going to happen.
Yep, me too.
Same exact way.
Like, I just have to be spoiled.
If anything is off or out of whack, even the smallest thing, it's not going to be good.
It's got to be cold enough to where I have to use the blanket.
Yeah.
Like, I think Allie hates it. She's like, why don't you just take the blanket off and it could be warmer?
The blanket it's a different kind of comfort.
It is.
Yeah. I like to taco myself and then put it under my head like extra pillow.
Yep.
It's just
and it's got to be totally dark. Like even like if there's a smoke detector, I got to put tape over.
When I spent the night at Adam's one time, and he thought I was insane because he fell asleep, and I taped his VCR. VCR, that ages me.
Nice.
I taped his. No, I just turned his clock around and just put it up against the wall so it wasn't showing any light. His phone had like a light like that, so I flipped it over, and like everything in there, I found a way to cover up.
Yeah.
I don't need that complete darkness anymore after working third shift for like a year and a half because you could never get it 100% dark. And then like any sort of light was the sun. So it was just super bright.
Right.
Yeah.
But I never slept well on third, but now I'm sleeping like a baby now that I'm off thirds. I sleep like a king. 8 hours a night, most nights.
I've gotten into the habit of, working in video, my best editing happens at night. So like I'll do a shoot like Tuesday. We wanted to get the video done before the weekend. So I got up, we finished the shoot at like 5, and I got home and I worked on it a little bit, and then I like set it down for a bit, and I got back into it at like 11 and finished at like 4. But then I slept till like 10. So it's like, and even this morning I went to bed late last night because I was finishing up a second draft of it, and then I got up this morning. I set an alarm for 9:30 p.m. by accident. So I woke up at like 10:30 and was like, oh no. Like I don't enjoy sleeping in just because it's like I feel like I'm missing something.
I feel super lazy if I sleep for more than 8 hours.
Especially
like if I sleep for 9 hours.
When I then text Molly and she's like, yeah, I've been at the hospital for like 2 hours. I'm like, I've been just in bed.
You just feel horrible about yourself.
Yeah.
All right, we probably should wrap this up.
Yep. We're
Pushing an hour.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Stories episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. You can find us at Twitter at MyFriendPodcast.
You can email us at itrustyoupodcast@gmail.com.
Please email us.
Please.
Questions.
You can email me too, but I'll probably want to answer. I don't check email very much.
Avery_Benter.
Who uses underscores anymore?
I do.
We have dots.
I do all the time. I happen to think that they're fine.
I also don't think it's a trend that went out. I don't.
You can.
It's like having XX at the beginning and end of your username.
You can hear us on Back Row Radio on Fridays.
Fridays, 7 a.m.
We should write this
Eastern
down.
time.
To 12 p.m.
To 12 p.m.
Yes.
Airs twice.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Airs twice. He
Wow.
chops it up, so it's like 15 minutes, then music, then 15 minutes.
I totally listen. I listen on podcasting sites.
Yeah, you can find us on like Podbean, iTunes, wherever else you get your
Back Row
podcasts.
Radio app.
Yes.
There's an app now.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
got
dope.
they're constantly. Ouch. You do it too.
I know, but it doesn't happen half as often.
You can. I don't remember what I was going to say, but
Back Row Radio podcast.
yeah, they're adding music.
app.
Yeah. They play some pretty dope tunes.
That's right.
Silent Planet just
Gotta get
released
you
an
guys on
album.
Do
Put
it.
that on there. Coastal Club.
Do it.
Put Coastal Club on there.
If you can make it happen.
Probably can.
We have an in. With
Do you?
With the big
I would hope
guy.
so.
The guy's probably going to listen to this. So
Hey,
He does. I think he does. Every
reach
time.
out to me at Avery Benter on all social medias,
Put Coastal Club on the radio.
and we are Coastal Club.
let's
on
do
all social
it.
medias.
Yeah. Do we want to outro like we introed?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. If I can remember the chords.
I think it's best if you don't.
There's an A minor.
I think we should probably take it up like 5
Capo
steps.
up here.
Yep.
Yep.
All right,
Give us a G here.
Get
Let's see what this is like.
find our note. Three dudes.
It's our 3
Ready?
Just three dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you.